Okay, here we are now in the third class of the famous, it's called Hemshech Ein Beis, the discourse of the 5,762. And this, uh, sorry, it's 5,672. That's why it's called Ein Beis. Ein Beis in Hebrew, 72 is Ein Beis. Okay, so now we are into still in the first chapter, and in the first item, generally between page the base and Gimel, two and three, and then we're going to continue on. So let me go summarize a little bit what we were talking about. The major subject over here that we began to talk about was the concept of the keter. Many times in English, we have problems in English that things don't exactly translate exactly. So when we use the word keter, so we found exactly only it's not just a crown. As we explained that the word keter has got three implications. Right? One is it implies you have to wait. In other words, there's going to be a revelation, but it's not now.
It is a process. The waiting is in the context of a process that is happening. So it's not
you're right. There's a process, or it also can mean that the receiver is not yet ready to receive. It's also, but it's for sure that it's something is going to come. And then we say another explanation is keter, which is again not in English. It's a very different concept. It means that it's something which includes everything at the same moment. It penetrates everything. Okay. As we examine the only sort of physical example of this we have is the concept of the power of willpower. Okay. So the willpower of a person is in every place. And the proof is that when you want to move your hand, it's almost immediately. Foot. It means that the power of the willpower is in the hand and the foot at the same time. Okay. So we also brought into the concept that whenever you want to go between two things, you want to connect them, we're also going to call it, that's the keter. Okay. Now, was between every level of creation, there is a keter. And that keter includes everything which is going to be, and it penetrates everything which is going to be. And therefore, we have, sometimes you'll see in the Kabbalah, you'll see these circles. There's a big
yes, circle.
But not yet spherot. It's a picture of they have a line, a circle, something another circle, right? Where these circles are really the keter. These are the keter. Each level, right, which it comes into revelation, there's a keter that, so to speak, it includes everything, and it's a source of everything. So therefore, always find that keter has two parts to it. Keter is, so to speak, the higher part of keter, is what's above the keter. And the lower part of the keter, right, is called the malchus. And so therefore, we find there's a concept that the keter of the malchus of one level will become the keter of the next level. In other words, the highest level, the lowest level of the higher level begins to be the highest of the lower level. And that's where we come into the concept of we're going to call Seder Gestalten. It's called the order of the chains. That when you want to go from higher levels to lower levels, yeah, there's going to be the one connects with the other one. The connecting point is the keter. That the keter becomes the lowest part of the highest one. Okay. So now, today we're going to start into the next part of the primer, which is now going to describe and get into understanding the term which is called pnimi. Hebrew means or pnimi. Or pnimi means light which is able to be invested in a vessel and be revealed.
If you're saying that literally means the inner light.
Right, it's inner light. In English, it doesn't sort of go together in and out because inner light But outer light, it's not the concept. We're talking about inner light and the light of the Keter, which is inclusive and not revealed. Okay? I mean, there's things which can be revealed if you have a vessel. If you don't have a vessel, they're not revealed. Okay? So in other words, and maybe go into this, the examples of this. What is this concept of light, which is what we call or pnimi, and what advantages does it have because it's or pnimi, whereas it's not like the or amakif, the or of the keter, which is incumbent. Okay, so it's very important to get into the difference between what is considered pnimi, what is considered makifi, because we're going to afterwards get into this. When we began the mind, we spoke about the whole concept of the keter. So to speak, to understand, be able to grasp the concept of the keter, you have to grasp the concept of what the or pnimi is all about. Okay. All right. So now exactly that. And then the orb, which is we call the orb makif, it's called it surrounds. When the orb, which is pnimi, is invested is revealed in a vessel. Okay? An example of that is a person's ability to see. Right? We see with our eye. We don't see with our ear. Why? Because the eye is a vessel to reveal the power of seeing. Okay? The ear is a vessel to receive and reveal the power of hearing. Okay, so in Hebrew, there's like three different words that apply to this kind of process. In English, they don't really translate, but it's difficult to translate them. But it means that there is a unification between the light of the power of seeing together with the physical eye. Become one. And that is the reason why that we can see physicality. Because the power of sight, which is in the eye, within the soul, is revealed in the eye. And when the light of the power of seeing is connected with the eye, so then it can see the physicality. Okay? In other words, and if the light of the soul is revealed in a spiritual eye, as it is when it is in a place called the Gan Eden, that's where it was before the soul came to this world. So the power of sees spirituality. It doesn't see physicality, it sees spirituality. And the thinking of the soul in the world of the Gan Eden is thinking about spirituality. So as according to the vessel which is given, that is how the revelation of the soul can reveal itself and connect it and become revealed through that. So there's a process over here of the power, which is really one of the powers of the soul, coming together with a vessel that can be able to reveal it. And the vessel which is revealing it will limit the kind of revelation of that light. And then he explains afterwards even that a person's eye, the way that it's built up, there's a combination of blood and whiteness, a different combination of physicality will affect the person's kind of eye, whether he sees things in a good way, or he has a tendency to see things not in a good way. It has to do also the physical way, also with the person's thinking, according to the brain that a person has. So then he has ability to understand deeper thoughts. Okay, so now this is what we're going to call. This is now start of stage one, to understand that when you want to understand something, you have to have a brain. So the brain can grasp the idea, even though the power of understanding is above. The power of understanding is one of the powers of the soul. So that when we have a revelation of something which is a power, So then that makes an opportunity that the two powers could come together. In other words, when a person wants to move his hand, okay, so really the command moving your hand is coming from the brain, but not the hand is a vessel to reveal what's in the brain. So how is it that the hand is able to move when really it's the brain who's doing it? So the answer is because in the hand is a revelation of the power of moving, which is coming from the soul. And so therefore, the hand can move. How the hand is going to move, where it's going to do, it's dependent on the brain. In other words, a person who is an artist, is an artist because of his hand, or is an artist because of his brain? That's because of his brain. And his brain, he has the ability to be an artist. The hand is a vessel to reveal that power. How can the two of them work together? Because the power of moving a hand is also invested properly in the hand. Okay, so this goes, and this is called, in terms of Hebrew, it's called Islabshus Koach Zeh B'Zeh. The two different powers can combine, and one can be invested in the other. Okay, in other words, the person wants to dance, so there has to be the power of being able to move your foot in the foot, and the mind goes together and works with the power of the. Also an example, it doesn't bring it here, but it's also like a robot. How does a robot work? There's a mechanical thing that moves the hand of the robot. And afterward, there's a command from the computer what to do with it, which way to move. So one is able to invest in the other. That's why we call them the art pnimim, or this pnimi is able to mabesh chad b'shem. Okay. So now, from this, we can also get into a different understanding that why is it that the person's soul is automatically, so to speak, almost like immediately comes into the body, and the body immediately it does, so to speak, what the soul wants. Why is it like that? Why is it that we don't have to do anything about a healthy body? We don't have to do anything specifically to make the body function according to the way that the soul wants. It's automatic. Why is it? The answer is because that the body is built to be a vessel to reveal the soul. Runs together. Yeah, there is such a concept of a soul that Lo is put in the body of an animal. It's called gilgul. It's kind of a punishment, right? We should know from such a thing. But the soul is put into a body, and the body is not doing what the soul wants. So that is because that there's no vessel to reveal itself. So therefore, the person, therefore, okay, so therefore, we come into the concept of how the soul is able to rule over the body. In other words, there's a natural part, and there is what we know that we want the body to do according to what the Torah tells us to do, when we understand it to do. So therefore, there's such a concept as the mind rules over the heart. What is that? What is that concept? What is that? Generally, we think that the mind can say, stop, it's enough. Put your foot down. But when a person puts his foot down, that means he's not using his mind, he's using his willpower. The usage of the person's mind, that it rules over the heart, means that the person can utilize his line of thinking to be able to influence the animal soul. which is really the source, is the characteristics of the hearts. To be able to influence him, that he should be able to change his approach to life. Not
Would be able to say that the animal soul represent in some way feelings and instincts separated from intellect. So,
okay. So but the fact that the animal soul has intelligence, it's connected with intelligence, it's connected. Really three souls. We spoke before. There's an animal soul, the nefesh keys, the holy soul, and then there's the intelligence, which is in between. They talk together. You can speak to the animal soul if you talk the proper language. And really, we're going to go into this in the second book about how to really wake up this process of speaking to the animal soul that he should want to come along and change. That's the exciting part in the second book. But it explains exactly how to go through all the doubting and what to think. But I think we're just talking generally now that there is a possibility to influence. So again, we're talking about thinking. So they're going into this. There goes into the explain that there are different lines of thought that you can utilize. The so to speak, the most basic motivation for somebody to do something is enjoyable, right? He enjoys it, but the behind the enjoyment, the time there's a line of thoughts that goes behind when a person enjoys something. There's something behind it, the line of thought, and behind every line of thought, there is a, a possibility for a person to utilize the line of thought to wake up emotion. Okay, and in thinking, it's what's called the outer kind of thinking. In other words, if you take a look at the general powers of the nefesh keys, the major line of thought that the nefesh keys enjoys is to think about the Creator and think about holiness. Now, to think about the holiness of the Creator, it could have nothing to do with the world and nothing to do with the animal soul. And it could and the two of them could never come in and have any connection. If a person wants to have a connection with his animal soul, they have to, so to speak, come down and think about things that in the end of the thought line, the animal soul is going to say, wow, that's a good idea.
I like that.
Okay? And others, and I'll give you an example. If a person is a salesman, and he comes to somebody's house, and he wants them to buy the refrigerator he's selling. Okay? So there's two lines of conversation you could take. If he takes a conversation line that if you want this machine is so good for you that it's going to save you money on electricity and it's going to make your ice cream. You're going to be able to work even when there's a holiday. All different things that it can do. And if you buy it right now, it's a 50% discount. So a person, oh, that's a good idea. I'll buy it. Okay. In other words, he took a line of thought which ultimately wants you to take out your checkbook and give him a check. Okay. If we come into the house and you say, listen, I have a refrigerator. If you have a few minutes, I'll explain exactly how it works. Right? The gas goes over here and it makes it cold. And afterwards, the thermostat turns it on. And then explain exactly for half an hour how the thing works. So you're never going to come to a conclusion because you know how it works that you want to buy it. Right? You're not going to buy it. Okay, so that's the same thing, an example that the nefesh kids has ability to think about things which have no connection with the animal soul. And the truth is he's built for the understand the greatest details of the creation. Because he's in essence part of the creator. And one of the reasons why he came into this world was to think about the creator. But another reason also came aboard was to take the animal soul and turn the animal soul into a partner that he should also want to be partners with the Creator. So therefore, in the line of thought, which he's going to have to take, is to be able to think about something at the end that the animal soul is going to say, "Whoa, that's a good idea." Okay, so that's what we're saying. That this is one of the differences between whether or not you have the power of willpower, which is motif, and therefore you could force the animal soul to do what you want, but he didn't change, or you could use your powers of intellect and your understanding and choose a line of thought, which will eventually affect an animal soul that he will also want to be partners. So then that's what's called using the orza pnimi, the inner kid, to be able to make a dwelling place for the creator of the world, and that through your efforts of taking the animal soul and turning it into a
Vessel.
that he proves to be a vessel that the creator should reveal himself, as we know that when Hashem gave the commandment to make him a temple, as we said, it said, "Asuli mishkan v'shakanti b'tocham," to make me a temple, and I want to dwell amongst everyone. So therefore, it's one of our schuyot. Now that we know that the Gula is now going to come, so as the Rebbe Nachum Mashiach has told us that we have to tell everybody that in the name of prophecy that we are the generation which now going to receive the Gula. So not only is the Gula going to be a revelation outside, it's also Gula inside. So therefore, that's part of as the Rebbe said, that the hamshir of this Ein Beis is something which everybody should learn and get used to the concepts. And as Hashem, we should see that today we'll all be together in the base of English.
Amen.
לפי אדוננו, רבינו, רבינו, מלך המשיח.
יהי אדוננו, מורנו ורבינו, מלך המשיח, לעולם ועד.
Okay, and don't forget, and I've always said, you always add in giving tzedakah. You give tzedakah and say, "G'dala tzedakah shemekarev zegila." Should be now. Okay.